Oh, right. Let's make a beat. Unfortunately, I have to use my computer speakers, so it's not going to sound super good, but try to bear with me. We're using Logic Pro here, pretty similar face to GarageBand as well, but you could use pretty similar techniques in other DAWs as well. So I'm going to start with the drum part. A lot of people like to start with drums when they're making a beat. So I'll just come over here and I'll just choose little drum machine. I don't know, we'll just take the first one. So I have a keyboard plugged in over here. But what you can do is the different keys will be different instrument sounds, as you can hear here. And the reason you want to use headphones or more quality speakers is because you can't really hear the bass. Oh, it's not a bass down here. You can't hear it super well on small little computer speakers. And especially those low end, bass synthesizers and bass plugins are going to sound just way more mediocre overall. But generally, the way keyboards are set up for plug-in drums, the low C down here is going to be your bass, and then either of these two drums are usually snares. I actually could pull up my little piano roll right here, and it will actually tell you all the names of the instruments. So kick drum, two different types of snares, claps, rim shot. You got your toms, those are the big drums on the floor, and then hi-hats on here, closed, open, crash cymbals. And then if you change your drum, the quality of those instruments will change as well. So a lot of times when I'm picking a drum, I'll use the main components, the bass and the snare, which you can't do here right now. And I'll just kind of do like that, like a normal beat, until I find one I like. Also really useful to remember ones that you like, so you don't have to scroll through them all again. I remember enjoying Trapdoor, I think. That'll work. So if you want to just use the keyboard to record, as I'm actually pushing the MIDI controller, you can do it that way. You can just hit record and then you can. You'll see my timing is a little bit off. So each of these lines refers to the metronome clicking here. I actually had the metronome turned off, but this would refer to the downbeat. So if you want your music to line up really well with itself, you can move stuff around so it actually lines up with these major tick marks or the little tick marks in between. So that's one way to record a drum beat. Probably an easier way, which relies more on computers than human ability, is to use a step sequencer. So we'll open that up right here. This is the one for Logic, obviously, but other ones have sort of a similar setup. So this is useful too, because it also is a rhythm lesson. So here we have the 4 beats in a measure, which are also subdivided into 4 smaller notes as well. So a bit of music theory, generally a note that will take the whole measure is called a whole note. 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. A note that will take half the measure would be a half note. One that takes a quarter of the measure would be a quarter note. So here we have a bass drum on quarter notes. Kind of what you're tapping your foot to, right? If we break those, we could have 1/8 notes. I'm just going to put this on a little loop here. There we go. So this will just keep playing. So there's 1/8 notes. You could subdivide that further into 16th notes. That sounds a little obnoxious, right? Yeah, probably not the best way to do a drum beat is just to do 16th notes on the bass drum, unless you're doing some like really, really heavy death metal or something. They like to do really fast bass drums. So a traditional drum beat in a lot of rock music or hip hop music usually will have the bass drum playing on the 1 and the 3, and the snare drum playing on 2 and 4. So if we play that, probably sounds like a drum beat you've heard. And then when I teach people how to play drums like real life drums. We usually start with this, right? Your foot and your right hand, and then we add the snare or the hi-hat on eighth notes. Beat. From there, you can sort of like use your ear, right, and hear how you want to embellish it. So sometimes they hit the bass drum twice, so you can try adding another bass drum. And then you can make it fancier by adding more notes or even by subtracting notes. So sometimes not having that third beat gives it that like little extra funk feel, you know. Another thing folks like to do in these days is do that nice little, trap repeated cymbals or repeated snares. So what you can do is go into note repeat. So right now it's only playing the notes one time, but I can change that. Cool, right? Velocity, basically this changes how hard you hit the notes. So on acoustic instruments, if you strum harder, it makes it louder. If you strum lighter, it makes it softer. Same idea here. A lower number means you hit the note a little bit less hard. Higher number means you hit it harder. This would actually change the note pitch itself, and then changing the octave. Octave is the same note, but just lower or higher. And you can do this for the snares as well. What I like to do is listen to songs that I enjoy and try to hear what they're doing with the drums, and then try to repeat that. So I heard a song where they're doing like crazy. And then it's sort of just making minor adjustments from there. You might decide that you like the sound of one snare better. Actually, I kind of just decided that I like snare 2 a little bit better. So let's just hear what that sounds like. Cool. We got a drum part. So from here, kind of go with your favorite instrument, right? I'm a bass player. Sometimes I go for bass instruments. In this case, let's try to find a synth. So in our synths here, we have like a lot of different sounds, right? Whoops, we got basses, obviously, bells. A lot of these are sort of self-explanatory by name. EDM is like electronic dance music. And lead, I always think about these as like synthesizers with really cutting sounds that cut through a lot of everything else. Pads are like kind of more evolving sounds. You can just plucked rhythmic. A lot of times they have like a pulse to them. I'm just hitting one note. I'm not playing any rhythms here, just holding a note. Sometimes I like to use the rhythmic ones to add like extra kind of rhythms in there. Or like sometimes the soundscape is really nice. So I'm gonna just hit the black keys because I know the black keys are a pentatonic scale. I'm gonna pick a soundscape with a cool name. Ooh, dystopian. Ooh, that sounds neat. You can actually adjust the qualities of the instrument too. So a lot of times I write reactively. I like to listen to the sounds and then find sounds that I like and then go off of those sounds. So I'm just gonna play around with this, see what I enjoy. All right, just gonna go for it here. Whoops, give me my record button, please. Okay, so I'm trying to play on the downbeats here. You see I changed my note on the 2 and on the 3 and on the 4. But I accidentally started on the second instead of the first part of the measure. So I'm gonna, whoa, just move that over there. And then I really wanted this to kind of hold out for a little bit longer. So if I double click this, I can go into my piano roll and edit it. And you'll notice my little recording here didn't happen quite on the thing. So I'll just move it over there. It's a little bit nicer. Okay. Sometimes with these synths and pads, the attack kind of happens a little bit longer. So let's just see what it looks like over here. Yeah, so in this case, the attack's got a pretty high value. This means when I hit the note, maybe you heard me hit the key and then you heard the note grow afterwards. If I put the attack down, it hits right away. And if I put the attack up, it sort of grows over a longer period of time. And then sort of vice versa with decay, right? It's how quick it cuts off at the end. So just what I did there was move the roll so it starts right at the beginning. And then I wanted the first two to last for one measure each, and then the last one to last for 2 measures. So I just dragged that out for longer. See how it sounds. And you can see the black notes I chose here. Whoops. Oh, we're not looping anymore. So again, I'm just choosing black keys, going like in a stepwise motion. And then here, I thought I wanted a bigger leap, so instead of just going to the next black key right below it, I skipped one. Simple technique. I'm writing reactively right now, so I'm hearing that go down, and I'm thinking it also would be cool if there was something else that was going up in the opposite direction, you know, like you could think about trying to have stuff that enhances something or something that complements something with like a sort of different aspect. So right now, like my ear's just hearing like, oh, it would be cool if there was like something that's climbing at the same time as that's falling. So I came over here, I clicked add another layer, and then I just went into pads because I'm not really wanting like a lot of attack here. You'll notice the attack value is a little bit high. I want something a little, I don't know, we'll just see what it sounds like. I'm going to start with the same note, that B flat. I'm just going to try to go up, see what it sounds like. Kind of cool. What I'm just, that it sounds like it's in the same register, right? Kind of middle range. I think it would be nicer if it was a little bit higher pitch. So those just right in order. You can see the notes I'm hitting here. And like listening reactively, I like these first 2 notes. I kind of want that last note. I feel like I want to bring it down. I'm just gonna try guessing. Not quite. There we go. So let's record that, and then I'll just describe what I'm trying to. I don't know. And then I could actually talk about the music theory, which I think I just maybe figured out. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. I'm mostly working on the pentatonic scale using those black keys because, hey, that's easy. There's nothing wrong with that. So here I started on the same note, right? I think I started on a B flat over here, a little bit lower pitched. And initially I was just going up, right? I liked those first 2 notes, but for whatever reason, I was hearing like that it would be kind of cooler if it dropped. You know, that's a little bit unexpected. You expect it to keep going in the same direction. So then I just dropped down to the next random one, which was that A flat. And then the first time through, I dropped down to the next one at the pentatonic scale. And I didn't really like it. It sounded, to my ear, it sounded like it was too far of a leap. When I was here, my ear wanted the note to fall again, but just a little bit. So the next time I did it, I just made it fall a little bit, 1 note, And then when it played that note, it sounds really cool, right? So what I think is happening is let's see what's happening over here. Last note we play is this one. Yes, that's a major third that's happening there. We got an E flat. In the bass part, this dystopian soundscape, and then in the breathless space, I'm playing the G. It's a nice major third, so that's actually why it brings in that kind of like, I don't know, it sounds like a light turning on or something, you know. And so what happens right before that is this A flat, and that A flat is what we would call a suspended fourth. So they call it suspended because it's sort of like hanging there before it falls down to the G. And then when you hear that fall, maybe you're feeling a lot of resolution. It's funny. This is like hundreds of years of history, right? Of like choral music and religious music, like using these sorts of things to bring out emotions in people. And then when you do that similar sort of thing with like electronic music, I don't know, it just has that same sort of vibe, even though it's like totally different goal, totally different name. And on the point of writing reactively, right, I'm just sort of like listening to my ear, and that was kind of what I wanted to hear. So that was what I went with. And I got to go to community meeting now. So I'll see you guys later.